I've had this idea for a long time. Some of the weaknesses in this game make absolutely no sense, at least in relation to the monster that they're given to. So this video will serve as a look at some interesting choices made by Capcom when they were deciding on who's going to be weak to what. So let's talk about it. Of course, there will be monsters with justified weaknesses. For example, Tetranodon is weak to thunder and fire. Makes sense, he's an amphibian, so fire hurts, and water and electricity go together like oil and water. Barroth is the same deal too, weak to fire, which is fine. I mean, he rolls around in mud all day, so fine, I'll let it slide. Wait a minute. Why is he weak to ice? And water? I get that he's found in dry, arid regions like the desert, but for him to be weak to literally the thing he sleeps in is a little crazy. Barroth, he's weak to fire, he's an ice monster, perfect combo. But why is he weak to thunder? Probably because he flies? Okay, fair enough. Asalos, a flying thunder wyvern, is weak to water and ice, which is great. So can anyone explain to me why Rathian and Rathalos are weak to dragon? Is it because wyverns are bootleg dragons? Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian aren't weak to dragon elements, but I like to touch that they're weak to thunder because they're made of metal. Why is Diablos weak to ice? Good question. You can make the stretch that he lives in a desert and ice melts into water and all that, but like, why is he weak to ice? How about Tigrex, who's basically a smaller Diablos, but is more aggressive to compensate for his size? Thunder, Dragon, take it or leave it. Thunder makes sense, but why Dragon? At that point, make him weak to ice, but that would just make him more of a Diablos fan. Basilgeuse is weak to thunder, ice, and dragon, but Seething Basilgeuse is only weak to ice. So did the variant just say no to the other two? It's probably just to make each monster unique among their more common peers. Also, funny thing, Valstrax and you won't guess this other monster, but Garangolm are both weak to everything except dragon. But Garangolm is weak because of the way he fights. Valstrax is weak simply because he's an Elder Dragon. Why would he be weak to Dragon element when he's a dragon himself, right? Right? I wanted to save this part for the end of the video, but when researching on the Elder Dragons, I found something in common. They're all weak to dragon, in varying capacities. Why is an Elder Dragon weak to the dragon elements? That's like a fish dying in water. Or that's like being a bird and flying, but then you die because of the flying. Yeah, they're weak to other elements, but bro, I'm struggling to find the reason why they decided to give all of them this elemental weakness, minding the Risen versions, because for some reason being plagued with a bloodsucking virus just makes them immune to a dragon element. So moving on. And as an extra cherry on the elemental cake, Deviljho is weak to dragon as well. And thunder, but he's weak to dragon. Why? He spews dragon breath, and his turf wars with elder dragons, just so you know, monsters that have been described as natural disasters always end in draws. Unless he's fighting a monkey, but that's besides the point. Hell, Savage Deviljho is literally stated to be plagued with an extreme hunger that puts the normal variants to shame. And he's juiced to the moon with Dragon Blight, so how are you going to make him weak to the very thing that's running through his veins? I originally wanted to keep this in terms of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, but after coping some more, I realized there's a lot more bullshit. Fatalis and Alatreon, the two strongest Elder Dragons that actually live up to being called Elder, are both weak to dragon. Give me a break! You might as well let them die from existing if that's the case. Rajang, a fanged beast that in lore usually thrives in extreme environments like snowy mountains, Rottenville, etc., he's weak to ice. He's immune to everything else with a slight weakness to water, but he's mostly vulnerable to ice. Why not make him weak to dragon, like Deviljho? The logic still stands, as confusing as it is. It's cool to have so many monsters to hunt, but with the weaknesses they're given, sometimes I can't justify it in my head. But hey, I didn't design the game, and it's still a great franchise, so who cares? Well, with all that in mind, I hope you guys like it. If you like the video, you know what to do. I'm grateful to anyone and everyone who watches my content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So, love you guys.